This program is brought to you by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC.
This is NDDC Today.
Good evening and welcome to NDDC Today. Yes, the commissioning of the new headquarters complex of the NDDC has come and gone, but the people of the Niger Delta are still basking in the euphoria of the completion of that ultra-modern complex. And there is palpable feeling of excitement that the NDDC has been rejigged for greater performance, and the Niger Delta region will be better for it. Welcome to NDDC Today. I'm Patrick Oke. Well, it's a season of commissionings at the NDDC. Over the years, the NDDC, would you believe it, has completed several projects across the length and breadth of the Niger Delta, which are awaiting commissioning. In January this year, the interim administrator of the NDDC, Mr. Patrick Oke, inaugurated a project monitoring commissioning committee meant to drive the identification and commissioning of NDDC completed projects across the Niger Delta region and hand them over to the benefiting communities. A few days after the commissioning of the Commission's multi-billion naira head office complex in Port Harcourt, the committee has set to work and has kicked off its assignment in some parts of Rivers State recently. Our correspondent toured these areas and filed this report.
A few weeks after his appointment as the interim administrator of the NDDC, Mr. Patrick Oke inaugurated a projects commissioning committee among two other committees. The Projects Commissioning Committee was saddled with the responsibility of identifying completed NDDC projects across the Niger Delta and getting them ready for commissioning and handing over to the benefiting communities to ensure ownership of such projects. The committee is headed by the Director of Project Management of the Commission, Engineer Julius Tonye George. Barely 1 month after the inauguration, some communities in the Niger Delta are already beginning to feel the impact of the committee set up. Recently, Engineer Tonye George and members of his committee visited Abuloma in Port Harcourt local government area of Rivers State to herald the commencement of the inspection of the Commission's projects spread over the 9 Niger Delta states.
The NDDC has in the last a few years back completed several projects not known by the public. Even the communities where these projects have been completed do not even know that NDDC has done them. So we have made up records of such projects, and those projects we've categorized them into those ones that are fully completed and ready for commissioning, and those ones that are also completed but with little defects.
Residents of Joe Alagua and Elizabeth Alfred Roads expressed their delight at the visit of the committee to their domain. Speaking during the pre-commissioning inspection by the NDDC officials, a community leader in Abuloma, Mr. Goodluck Jonna, said that the reconstruction of the road was a blessing as it had opened up the area for development.
Before, business activities was low, but now, because of the road, you can see people passing. Because of the road, the sales of land here has increased. Rent has also increased because the place is now passable.
Another resident in the area, Mr. Henry Togwell, observed that the road had made a positive impact on the lives of the people in the area, as well as boosting activities of companies and business enterprises. Togwell, who manages an event center in that neighborhood, emphasized that the NDDC did a good job on the road and remarked that the project added a lot of value to property in the area.
We hope and believe that whenever our clients come for an event, they will not complain about road anymore.
The leader of the inspection team, Engineer Julius Tonye George, stated that the 1.8-kilometer road with rigid pavement spurs had substantially decongested the busy Peter Odili Road, taking traffic to Woji and Akpajo areas of the River State capital.
Today we don't experience traffic again on the Odili Road axis because of the completion of this project. Before now it was a difficult thing to go through Odili Road because this road was not passable.
Tonye George said that the people of the Niger Delta deserved to know about the numerous projects and programs undertaken by the NDDC as an interventionist agency. The director said that the committee would identify all completed projects and get them ready for commissioning and handing over to the benefiting communities.
This project is now completed. We have gone to do the pre-commissioning inspection. We are going back to the office to report to the interim administrator and chief executive officer so that the project can be officially commissioned and handed over to the Abloma community and the state in general so that people can begin to use this road.
The inspection team also visited several road projects in Port Harcourt and Obiakpo local government areas of River State, including the completed internal roads within the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Akpamini and Azumini farm roads in Atali community.
This way NDDC, they don't come work this road for us now. Everything now they move smoothly. Even people where they use legs, they work out smoothly. Me where they drive this keke now, the thing they give me joy. My keke they last for me now. Things no they spoil too much for my keke.
We are very excited, and the road is very solid, and it has brought development in the shops, in the buildings, in the lands. Development have come. People are entering the resident, the estate.
Residents of Aboluma and other communities in River State expressing their gratitude to the NDDC for the projects carried out in their domain. The Project Commissioning Committee is set to visit several other communities across the 9 Niger Delta states to identify hundreds of such projects that have been completed and are awaiting commissioning. In anticipation of the committee's visit to some of these states, we take a look at some completed NDDC projects in some states across the Niger Delta which are awaiting commissioning.
The fact remains that the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has always been cognizant of its mandate to intervene with meaningful and life-impacting developmental projects across the oil-producing states in the Niger Delta region. Imo, a state comprising of 27 local government areas with a population of over 4 million people, has always enjoyed the attention of the NDDC in the areas of developmental projects that has impacted on the living conditions of people of the state, be it in the area of potable water, electrification, healthcare, agriculture, education, as well as construction of roads to open up many communities within the state. One of the banes of Nigeria's healthcare system is a lack of basic infrastructure, a challenge the Niger Delta Development Commission has taken upon itself to help improve upon to help in the health needs of the Niger Delta people.
They said health is wealth. When you don't have good health, how will you achieve your aims? It has been a thing of joy to women, to men, and to children. They have saved a lot of souls that would have died.
Here in Osu local government area of Imo State, the NDDC recently constructed a 20-bed health center at Udem Imehi, with all facilities put in place to provide adequate healthcare delivery to the people. Apart from the health center building, the nurses' quarters are also fully furnished and equipped with all the necessary paraphernalia to complement the facility. It is expected that the facilities will be formally commissioned soon and handed over to the healthcare authorities in the local government for adequate operations.
We thank God that a new building has arrived in our health center from NDDC, and they will build it, equip it fast without wasting time, with 20 beds, and where nurses here, we can pack their things and leave.
While thanking the NDDC for the construction of the health center, the Uche Nchemba of Imehi, Eze Lazarus Eze Fedu, who was represented by Chief Iche Chimeze Gabriel, noted that it was a thing of joy to have the health center sited in Udem Imehi community.
I'm happy, and the Imehi in general is happy about this because Nigerian government, Imo State government, they did better for us, and we are happy, and we are congratulating them. Also, the president of Nigeria, NDDC, lost us. So as they did this, they saw that our old walls, our old buildings is now somehow, but then come and do a new one for us. We are happy to receive government, and we are happy to receive the president of the country.
Away from health matters, records have it that about 2/3 of the riverine communities in the Niger Delta are geographically trapped in the difficult terrain of the Niger Delta mangrove forest, and access to most of these communities either by land or sea have remained a Herculean task in ages past and even till date. The NDDC, as a development catalyst agency, is gradually intervening in the opening up of many of the communities within the limit of its budgetary constraints. Over the years, the Commission's efforts in the provision of motorable roads, electricity, schools, cottage hospitals, as well as other infrastructure has brought about significant changes in the social and economic fortunes of several communities in the region, as many of the inaccessible communities before now have become a destination of choice for many rural seekers. Here is Abiborodo, one of the once forgotten communities in Warri North local government area of Delta State, the country home of Dr. Emmanuel Oduaga, former governor of Delta State. The journey to and from Abiborodo by boat is through the narrow water, channels and creeks that cut across this vast mangrove forest. In recent years, accessing Abiborodo became a Herculean task due to the challenges posed by overgrown mangrove shrubs along the waterways, creeks and canals.
And there's a road, but it's very narrow. It's a narrow creek.
To salvage the situation which had placed the livelihood of the people of Abiborodo on the downturn, the NDDC recently intervened with a 13-kilometer stretch of canalization along the community waterways. It even went further to open up the existing creeks and created other artificial canals leading deep into the mangrove. But for what purpose is this canalization to the Abiborodo community and its environs? The completion of the Abiborodo canalization project is a major milestone that has aided easy movement of people and goods in and out of the community and other adjoining communities along the Sapele-Bini rivers and beyond. The economy of the people of Abiborodo and its environs depends largely on fishing and timber lumbering in this difficult mangrove forest that has little or no access routes.
Fishing is our occupation here, so and it gives us a link to other places for the fishing. Yes, and if is it only fishing? No, it's not only fishing. Even the 2x4 workers, they are the loading boats. So formally, they find it so difficult to go and convey their 2x4 from where the sites they work it. But now that the whole places is open, so it's free them, so they move freely.
The unwanted materials along the narrow creeks and canals over the years has posed dangers to mariners plying the routes from having easy rides with their small and big boats and canoes. What's more, the free movement in these waterways and creeks has given other marine activities the opportunity to strive.
The opening of the river makes the fish quicker for us to catch most of the time. So most of our net will not destroy because of those wood that they open the river. So the opening of the river have benefited us much. And we thank NDDC for this type of work. And most of the time they should bring more of this work to us again so that we can enjoy NDDC in this community.
With the completion of the canalization project, the NDDC has now placed Abiborodo on the map of salvaged communities in the Niger Delta. A community that was once in dire need of accessible waterways and motorable roads is now happy to have gotten all this courtesy of the NDDC.
It is hoped that the engineer Tony George-led committee will visit these projects very soon and have them commissioned in due course and hand them over to the benefiting communities. Now, moving on, just last week, the NDDC headquarters complex was commissioned amid pomp and pageantry. We'd like to take a look back at the commissioning ceremony, some of the things we missed which we could not show you last week. The expressions of joy of several sons and daughters of the Niger Delta who were delighted at the completion of this masterpiece which took over 28 years to realize.
The official commissioning of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC multi-billion naira permanent headquarters complex in Port Harcourt has come and gone, but the euphoria of the ceremony lingers in the air and is still making headlines in the media. 1 week after, the eventual commissioning of the Commission's corporate headquarters complex has been described as a major development milestone by President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. We recall the President, through a Zoom conference, officially inaugurated the NDDC headquarters complex from the State House, Abuja. The one-day event saw many stakeholders of the Niger Delta region in attendance, a scenario which emphasized how much importance the headquarters building holds for the Niger Delta as a region. Addressing the media 2 days earlier before the commissioning of the new headquarters complex, Senator Godswill Akpabio, alongside the NDDC Interim Administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, while conducting a tour of the facility, told newsmen that the completion of the long-awaited NDDC headquarters building is an evidence of focus and determination by the Buhari administration. According to Akpabio, the new headquarters complex is a testimony to the fact that the current administration is determined to reposition the Commission for the rapid development of the Niger Delta region. The supervising minister further observed that the previous administrations that neglected the project may have had their reasons, but it was important to note that a leadership with focus and determination will always make a difference. Senator Akpabio also acknowledged that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and that one step has been taken with the completion of the headquarters building. Thursday, 11th April 2021, history beckoned at the NDDC. It was a day full of excitement and joy as all roads in the Niger Delta led to the permanent headquarters of the NDDC at Marine Base, Port Harcourt, venue of the commissioning ceremony of the long-awaited permanent headquarters complex of the Commission. Upon arrival of dignitaries and guests at the premises of the new headquarters of the Commission, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, inspected a guard of honor mounted by personnel of the Nigeria Police from the Rivers State Police Command. This colorful beginning set the tone for the commissioning ceremony amid display of different cultural dances from across the region, who have all come to showcase their rich cultural dances and beats as a mark of their appreciation to the current administration, an expression of the joy of having a befitting edifice like the corporate headquarters of the NDDC in the Niger Delta. Speaking at the virtual commissioning of the new headquarters complex, President Buhari said that as part of his administration's objectives, he started a holistic reform of the NDDC for greater service delivery for the people of the region. The President commended the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for providing the required leadership that saw to the completion of the office complex, noting that money spent on rent would now be saved and deployed to other areas of needs to the region. President Buhari commended the management and staff of the NDDC for staying on course and keying into the development agenda of his administration, and expressed his delight for the cordial relationship between the NDDC and the National Assembly, and hope that the relationship will be strengthened for the benefits of the people of the Niger Delta region.
We are handing over to the people of Niger Delta a befitting head office complex for present and future use.
Earlier in his speech, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, said that he was the first minister to visit the new headquarters when it was under construction. Senator Akpabio declared that the president deserved a big reward for showing love to the people of the Niger Delta. The minister thanked the interim administrator of the NDDC, Mr. Effiong Akwa, and other former managing directors of the NDDC for their efforts to see to the completion of the new headquarters. In his welcome address, the interim administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, commended President Buhari, the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, and members of the defunct Interim Management Committee for a job well done. Speaking on behalf of the governors of the 9 Niger Delta states, the Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, expressed gratitude to President Buhari for the realization of the new NDDC headquarters, stating that with the completion of the new headquarters, the NDDC will stop the money being wasted on rents and channel it to more productive ventures in the region. Goodwill messages from both houses of the National Assembly could not have been left out in this special occasion, as the chairmen of the NDDC committees in both houses added their voice to the cacophony of voices at the ceremony.
I am happy to be the chairman of the Senate Committee at this point in time, and therefore can partake in the joy of the actualization of the dream.
I call today a jinx-breaking day in the history of the Niger Delta. This is something that has been coming for 2.5 decades, and I'm happy that under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, this has been achieved in record time.
Also, in his goodwill message, the Amayanabo of Twambras, King Alfred Diete Spieth, said he was pleased to be part of the commissioning ceremony. The high point of the event was the ceremonial cutting of the tape and unveiling of plaque, which was performed on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari by the Governor of Yobe State and Chairman, APC Caretaker Committee, Alhaji Mai Malabuni. Some past board members and managing directors of the commission expressed their delight for the completion and commissioning of the complex.
I feel very, very proud today. This is something that NDDC, a major thing that NDDC has accomplished, and I want to thank God for it, thank the minister and the president.
I'm so delighted and happy for the region that we can have a building of our own as one of the aid engine of Niger Delta communities.
Also expressing their joy at the occasion were some notable personalities from across the Niger Delta.
That it has taken so long, yes, it's painful, but now today we're here, thank God.
The members of the new headquarters host community landlords also expressed their appreciation, being the first beneficiaries of the multi-billion naira edifice.
The host community, we are the host community. We're happy for them coming. In fact, we can't wait. We're all happy. We're waiting for them to come, sir.
For NDDC to come, it's a great to all the youth here. That will find them. That will be job opportunity. they will help one or two persons. So we're happy for them.
The NDDC headquarters building sits on a vast landmass measuring about 38,000 square meters, with an office complex that has a main building occupied by the board members and directors of the commission. There is also an ancillary building which has provision for banking facilities, restaurants, community hall, and a clinic. The new headquarters edifice is fitted with escalators and lifts to move people and equipment into the different offices. Fire alarms, smoke detectors, central cooling system, functional drainage system designed for the evacuation of water from the premises. It is also fitted with modern sewage treatment plants that can recycle sewage into fresh water and a provision of an ample parking space for workers and visitors alike. The NDDC, like other multinational agencies across the world, truly deserves a corporate head office befitting of its status and conducive enough to handle the high volume of corporate activities of the Commission. A significant landmark that has taken almost 28 years in the making, a local architectural edifice of the Commission, another multi-billion naira flagship project that could be counted now in going forward as one of the most outstanding landmarks in the Niger Delta. Thanks to the Buhari administration. Sir, the task is done.
Well, snippets of some of what we missed in our first report. Now you have the total event package as it really happened at the commissioning. And that's our package also for today. Don't forget, we're here every week to follow the NDDC. Now the new building is complete and there are places where the eggheads of the Niger Delta can meet and plant for the development of the Niger Delta. We'll be here every week to tell you just how they're doing if you join us on NDDC Today. Thank you for joining us. Good night.